there's a comment that I saw on one of my posts that I made. I remember that video. I was young. I was in my early 20s, middle 20s, between that. So I reposted the video where I was dancing, and I said when I was younger, I used to dance when I was younger. So I saw a comment from the video that, and the comment was coming from Elizabeth. She said, but how do you manage not to get misled? Because 80% of teenagers that had such will get misled. So I wanted her to, like, how do you manage? I wanted her to rephrase it. So I think I did not ask the question properly, or so I said, rewrite your question so that I get what you are asking, so that I should answer according to what you mean, because I wanted her to rewrite so that I should not just assume that this is what she's asking. So now I response was like, I don't know how to write it, you will understand. Sure. Okay, let me respond according to what you told me that I understand. So your question was like, how have you managed to like stay focused in God, because 90%, 80% of many teenagers, they get misled when they're at this age and what they have and all those things. So that's how I got the question. So now I'll respond it according to how I got it. I don't know if that is how you asked, but I'll respond it to that. So one thing that I knew Christ, I received Christ as my Lord and personal Savior like a long time. I was not even in my teenager. Before I even became a teenager. That's when I received, and I got born again when I was living in Tanzania, because I'm from Zambia, but I got born again when I was living in Tanzania. So my growth with God, the time I made that decision, I think I've not turned away from my God. And I'm not that I have not gone astray, not because that I've been 100% perfect. No. What has made me, because one, it is a decision that I made. When I made a decision to follow God, I did not make a decision to follow God because that I'm going to be 100% okay. I accept my errors, and I accept my mistakes, and I've come to accept myself that I'm a human being. I make mistakes, and the most important thing is that when the Bible says a righteous man may fall 7 times, but he'll still rise. I think one of the things that makes a lot of teenagers to go astray is because they would want to be like somebody. There's a certain expectation that somebody is looking forward to see in a Christian, or how they should behave. So you find that a lot of teenagers, because they want to find themselves, but because they are in a situation or a position whereby, okay, for me to know God right now, as they keep on growing as teenagers, they get into their early 20s, they are looking at a certain person and they want to begin to behave like that person. So one thing is that I've tried to be me. I've not tried to imitate nobody. I've learned from people, but I don't want to imitate nobody, because I understand that for God to make me like this, then there's a special and uniqueness that I have in me, which I'm not supposed to be like anybody. Because there's this thing of Christianity. When you're a Christian, there's sometimes that people are expecting you to behave somehow, to be walking as if you're that humble, but even in your heart, you're not humble. So and you change your personality so that you can be accepted. Don't change your personality because you're a Christian. Work on yourself, work on your character. So maintain the same personality, because that personality is what makes you is what makes you Elizabeth, is what makes me Yvette. If they describe me, I have my personality that somebody is going to define me by a certain way of how I live, how I behave, how I talk, how I carry myself and everything. So if all of us behave the same, then there will be no any difference who is who. Will be different by face and by name, but in terms of character, attitude, you're going to be the same. So one, accept yourself and be you. Don't try to be, because if you try to be like that one, you start finding that you get misled. You get misled because you feel like maybe being a Christian, you need to be like this one, you need to preach like this one, you need to live like this one and everything, whereby you crucify and kill yourself in order to accept other personality. So I've learned to accept myself that I'm different, and I've learned to accept that my Christianity walk with God does not eliminate me not to be who I am. So that's one way I've managed, and I've not been misled, because I don't admire any person's personality. I learn from them, and I've learned a lot from people, but I've refused to be like somebody else, because there are some people who wants to be like me. So if I kill the me, who's going to see that which is me? Mhm. Then the other thing, it is a decision. I made a decision to follow my God. And when I say I made a decision to follow my God and not turning back, is not turning back. But making a decision, I'll bring it to the point of marriage. When you decide to get married to a person, or you decide to marry somebody, it is a decision. It does not mean that in that marriage everything will be perfect. It does not mean that in that marriage all of you, you're 100%. You're all different people with different eras. So when you come together, definitely you accept your faults. So I've learned to make a decision I've made a decision, not because I'm perfect and not because I'm going to be 100% perfect, but the most important thing is to accept and say, one, I'm a human being, and two, I have to come to a point of understanding that even when I fall, I'll still come back to my God and make things right with Him. But that does not say that I'll still be going deliberate. No, there are times where human being will just fall, And the other thing is that I've learned to focus on my life, and I've learned to pay attention to the voice of God. So I don't really want to be I've allowed myself not to be distracted. Yes, at some point I've been distracted due to some anxiety, but some excitement and everything. But I always know that, okay, God, I've not done this. I'll be able to come and again reconnect myself to God. So this journey of Christianity, why I've not been allowed to mislead, is because, one, I've made a decision. Two, I allow myself to be me, and I accept that I'm a human being. I make errors, and come back to, and I know what I want in my life. I know what I'm looking forward for in my life. So that's the reason I've not misled. And at the end of the day, create a relationship with God. That's the most important thing, because if you have a personal relationship with God, He'll tell you, He'll talk to you through His word, He'll talk to you through the messages that you come across to. And when you do that, that's how I've managed myself. And I've just tried to be me, a real Yvette. I don't want to add, subtract. When I'm preaching, so when I'm talking to people, I try to focus on my assignment, not to focus on me being perfect. No, my God will perfect everything that concerns me. So I don't try to perfect myself, but in all my works, I try to live and live a righteous life. But though sometimes we fall, as I said, and in our talk, in our speaking, in our lifestyle, we offer. So remaining focused, misleading comes from the point where you are not satisfied of who you are not focused, and you allow anyone to talk to you, and you would want to be like somebody else. So that's why I hope I've answered your question, and I pray that some of you have also learned from this. So God bless you. And so being a Christian does not eliminate you to be not you. Be you, but improve in yourself and be proud of who God made you to be. And like that, you'll not be misled and not be intimidated. God bless you, and I love you.